Hi yogi, and welcome back to this new practice I have arranged for you guys. As you already seen by the title of this video, we are going to go through a nice little flow for our headstand, and I hope you're excited to get going. I will go through all the steps to enter, so even if you're not a seasoned practitioner of yoga, you will be able to attend this class and join in on all the steps to go ahead and practice your first ever headstand. So please join me on the mat, sit down in any comfortable position, and we'll start with some nice little movements of the body to wake it up before we get into this. Finishing off, we're just settling into the practice by sitting grounded onto the mat, closing down our eyes, slightly drawing the shoulders away from the ears, broadening the collarbones and sitting up straight. This really proud, nice position. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale it all out and let it go. Invite emptiness into this practice so we can bring that focus to whatever is ahead. Blink your eyes open if you kept them closed. Take a deep breath in, reach both arms up to the sky. Then coming in for a little side bend, we reach over. Inhale, come center. Exhale, side bend the other way. One more on each side. And we're coming back into center. Release your arms down. Bring your right hand to that left knee. Inhale, lift up your crown of the head and extend into your twist. Hanging out here for a few deep breaths, consciously taking them in through the nose. Now we do want to twist before we get into a headstand, and you might question this, and the reason why we want to twist and side bend is to really awaken the core and just move and feel a bit more fluid into the whole spine before we get into our headstand. Inhale, come back center. Then bringing our left hand to the right knee. Take a deep breath in, lengthen through the spine, then finding your twist. Staying for a few cycles of breath to really become present in this asana without wanting to escape it, without wanting to fight any thoughts we have internally in this moment. Just being acceptant by staying, by giving love to the body, showing it whatever we go through, we can go it through by sticking through the tough part to release and come into center. All right, we are gonna come up standing in the top of the mat. I will just organize my mat here in the wind. And as we come up here, I really want you to bring some focus in again to really rooting yourself down onto the mat. So today, this rooting into the mat is really important for a few reasons. When we go into a headstand, we're really using the core and the extension and muscle of the whole body to keep us up, at least if we go all the way up to a straight position. So we want to engage the whole body always from the other side as well when we're standing up to sort of awaken all the muscles that we will be using. So squeeze your glutes, squeeze your thighs and your hamstrings, the calves, and press those feet into the mat. Then using your core, drawing your whole rib cage, lower ribs in, and lifting off, drawing the shoulders away from the ears and standing tall. Fingertips reaching down to the floor. Take a deep breath in. Squeeze everything slightly more this time. Hold it still. Exhale it out. Last breath here. Great. Inhale this time, we reach our hands up to the sky. Exhale, dive it down to our forward fold. Hinge from the hips, allow your knees to bend slightly. Shake out your neck and fall down towards the mat. Take a deep breath in. Exhale that out. Maybe we can bring some more extension into the back side of our legs. Then inhale, come halfway, lengthen. Exhale, step back to your high plank. We'll spend a few moments in our high plank, protracting the shoulders away from the mat as we sink the hips down to the mat. Or towards the mat, we still want to keep up. Now staying here for a few more deep breaths. Internally listen to that dialogue you have with yourself. Are we being kind to ourselves? Are we pushing ourselves with engagement? Are we knowing that we are capable? Or are we staying here thinking that we have to give up? Now listening and choosing to listening to that good part. Knowing that we're capable, knowing that we're stronger than our fears. Then slowly lower down our lower body. We're finding our cobra, pulling our shoulders back and broadening the collarbones. Lifting our crown up really high, unlock your toes and plant down your feet onto the mat. Lift off your gaze now up to the sky. Then exhale, push back into your tabletop position. Maybe we need to slightly shorten our stance here with our hands and knees. From here, we take a deep breath in as we come in and find cow. Exhale, cat, round your spine. 2 more of each, inhaling. Rounding up to cat. Last round, inhale, lower belly, lift the tailbone. Exhale, curve, drawing the navel to the spine. Neutralizing. We're stepping up to our downward facing dog and push your hips up high. From here, try to engage some movement into your body to just unlock some tension from the backside, from our hamstrings or calves perhaps. Just moving and awakening the body, feeling into the muscles, preparing them for engagement. Now from here, what I want you to do is come down onto your forearms, still staying in our downward facing dog. So we're entering a dolphin pose. What we want to do here is, if it feels tight in our hamstrings, make sure that you're bending the knees or lifting off the heels off the mat. Keep engaging the core and press your finger wide into the mat. If you want, you can try to slightly walk yourself further. There will be a bit more weight onto the shoulders here. And it's a great practice to prepare yourself for a headstand or a pincha as well. Last breath. Then lower down your knees onto the mat. We come up to a seated position. We will be swinging around. Sorry, my mat again. We will be swinging around our feet and legs. So we come on to the sitting bones again. We're going to engage in some Navasana in a boat pose. And by doing that, we lift off the feet from the ground. And there's a few options here. We can keep our knees bent, pointing the toes forward, or extend fully. Arms come alongside the knees. Take a few deep breaths. We're using again, if we're keeping this extension of the legs, we're really tensing all the muscles here to prepare ourselves for the headstand, and also using the core, which we will do a lot in a headstand. Now slowly release back down onto the mat. Take a second Take a deep breath in. Exhale that out. Feel into your body. Give it some moments or some seconds to find back into stillness. Then we will be entering bow pose again. Extend your legs either to the front or up, fully lengthening. And then draw your shoulders back as we lower in our back body to use it to strengthen the body. One more deep breath in. Then exhale, release that down. All right, now entering headstand. We will be using a little triangle with our arms. So what we want to focus on is keeping the elbows in approximately the same width as our shoulders, so not further apart. A lot of us wants to separate it further, but that will create a less length to balance on. So the further we keep it away, the less of a length you will have to come into the headstand. So try to really check in with yourself as you come and lower down, that we keep it in the shoulder width apart, sorry. And then we clasping our hands and fingers together, squeezing ourselves back further, and then we can come up onto the knees. So clasping the hands together. As we enter our headstand, we want to place the top of our head, the flat part, onto the mat. But I do not advise you to do this unless you have the strength to hold yourself up. So we actually, in a headstand, we don't keep any pressure onto the actual head. So all of the strength is coming from our arms and shoulders and the body, keeping us in balance. So you always want to have a sensation of not even having the head on the mat, actually. It can almost be placed into the palms. And so that we fully engage more of our core and more of our arms to come into this. So if we just place our head into here and then sitting here and kneeling down, we then just lift off the knees. And what this will do is just create a bit more lengthening into the legs to pull you further and move the hips over our head or over our shoulders. So this is what we want to aim for. Coming from this position where the hips are far away from our shoulders, we want to walk it further up so we have it almost stacked above. Now, we don't need to get this far, but that's what we want to aim for. So we can just practice that, taking a few more moments. And also, as we're practicing this, walking in and stacking the hips above the shoulders, can we notice any pressure in the head? If we do, we need to be really careful and maybe restacking ourselves or re-entering the asana again. If we feel comfortable with this, we will now enter. And my biggest tips here is when we walked our toes as far as we can to stack ourselves above, is to just lift one foot at a time and then switch. Still keeping one toe on the mat for some support. And if we do this a few times and feel comfortable with this, we can then, with one foot already up, just lift off the other one. You can keep the knees tucked into the body, into the rib cage. And then slowly, when you feel secure, extend up. Spending some time here if you want, or lowering down, slowly coming back. Now take a deep breath in and hang out there if you want, or exit if you want. There's a few more options of entering to a headstand, but this is the most basic one, which will give you the most stability. And we can really feel into the body and feel that engagement in the core as we enter. So if we want to play around a bit, feel free to do so. If not, we just re-enter the exact same way as we did the first time. So lift off the knees, find that placement of your elbows in a hip width apart. Then slowly walk your feet close to your body. Lift off one foot at a time and stack the hips. Hang out here with bent legs or extend. Holding it strong. Taking one more deep breath. And then whenever you're ready, slowly bending back your knees and exiting the same way you entered. As we place our foot down, plant down your knees and hang out here with your head low before we just rise up really quick. So maybe just resting your head onto your hands. Take a second. And then slowly lift off your head and your over body, and then coming up into seated position. Not wanting to go any further now, just hanging out here in a neutral spine, relaxing the shoulders down again, and taking a second to just feel into the body and what we've done. Recognizing that with practice comes patience. And it might humble us when we practice to know that nothing is a straight line. Everything is a bit of a roller coaster going up and down, and we can never really predict exactly where we'll turn, in what direction, and how big that turn will be. Slowly, we're bringing our hands down onto the mat and find our tabletop position again. From here, tuck your toes under, lift off to your downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog, we walk our feet out to the corners of our pinky fingers, and we sink down into Malasana. Hanging out here, we'll give a nice little release into the lower back. We open up the hips, we strengthen the abdominal muscles, and we lift off and lengthen that spine again. From here, extend both of your hands out to the front. See if you can fold over in between the knees. Then slowly lower your sitting bones onto the mat and extend into Navasana again. One more breath here. Then lower down your knees, feet, and come to a laying position onto the mat. Extend both legs fully, and we arrive in our Shavasana. A time to reconnect to that inner peace, to bring your focus to stillness, to allow your body to surrender, to experience what lies beneath our thoughts. When you're ready, start engaging some movement into your body again. If you keep your eyes closed, feel free to do so a bit longer to keep out any distractions that comes with open eyes. Again, draw your shoulders back and take a deep breath in. Lift your crown and exhale it all out, surrender. Bring your hands to your heart center. Bow your head down towards your hands. And take a second to acknowledge what you've done on the mat today. Have you spent some time to be present in your body, to give your body, mind, and spirit some love and compassion? I see the light in you and me and in all beings. And I feel so honored that I got to guide your practice today. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. And if you do like this video, please don't subscribe to my channel. And no, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That will help me loads and loads. And also, if you give this video a little thumbs up, if you do like a little headstand tutorial or flow. And I hope to see you on the next week's yoga asana flow with me. Lots and lots of love. Have a great day.